All right. Well, looks like folks, we're live here Tuesday night for our training call. We're at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We're a little bit later this evening. We wanted to make sure everything went through smoothly without any interruptions whatsoever. So we want to make sure, first of all, we want to make sure before we get started, if you guys could just let us know over there on the live page that we're displayed over there, that you guys can hear us, see us, and that we're good to go. We'll get started here in just another minute or so. We've got quite a few people on the call tonight, so we're very excited to obviously have you here, share some information with you. Folks, if you missed Dwayne's call this evening, I really want to stress the importance of making sure that you send out an email to your friends, when I say friends, I mean the people that you're doing your business with here with Aggressive Cybernetico. Get that out to people, because truly, I think Dwayne will send that out probably as a replay, but truly, you've got to listen to what Dwayne's talking about when it comes to him talking to the distributors from his heart, and in the letter to the distributors and things like that. I had to go back and replay it again, because I really truly, it's one thing I love about Dwayne, I love about this company too, is the leadership that we have, the ownership that we have in a company is really unmatched. So we're very, very blessed, or we should feel blessed to be part of this company. All right, it's not always about the money, it's not always about the hype. Quite honestly, I hate all of that part of it. The money's great, but as Dwayne says, it's not all about the money. And when you put other people first and you're building out your organization with that in mind, the money is just a byproduct of that. And truly, folks, make sure if you haven't seen that yet, please go back there, check that out, because truly, our CEO is an incredible person, and it just, it's nice to hear people not just sugarcoat things and really put it the way it should be said. So our topic tonight is doing what it takes. It's actually a little bit about, really, it was kind of perfect timing, because it really has to do a lot with what Dwayne talked about tonight. Really just kind of giving you some additional feedback, some additional information, really, to kind of put things into perspective for you as an entrepreneur, as somebody that I've gone through, some challenges within building my business, just like everybody else has. Success does not come instantly, nor does it come overnight. This is not an instant gratification type thing for anybody in any area of being an entrepreneur and being an online business owner, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to basically, okay, so everybody said that you can see me okay, everything's good to go. My screen says an error. Somebody said, please refresh the screen. Let me know if that fixes that part of it. If not, just exit out, go back to your email, click on that link again, and try it, because everybody else is saying that they can see us. So we're good to go there. We're going to be just a minute or so before we get started. So if you want to try that real quick, just give me a shout out. Let me know that you can see it. But this is recorded, folks, so you can always go back and watch it afterwards. Let me go into my screen share here, and let me see if I can lock on this screen. And we're going to hopefully not do this. We're hopefully not going to do this the way I did the new member orientation one day, where you guys couldn't see it at all. So I'm actually going to keep this window open. So we should be good to go. So folks, if you can see that screen, if you can see where it says doing what it takes, please let me know. Type in yes or no in the chat box there. And we do have a slight delay, just a little bit, anytime we're doing a webinar. So I'll wait for those before we get started, and then we'll go ahead and kick us off here. Now tonight, I do want to let people know, as we're waiting for those yes and no's, yes and no's to come in, is I really want you guys to understand that what Dwayne talked about tonight is really, a lot of people. Okay, great. Somebody, PM, you said you can see that. Okay, great, awesome. What Dwayne talked about tonight, folks, is really, the things that a lot of company owners don't talk about, right? It's a lot of what the company owners really don't like you to hear, really, in respects to, the things that you really should be doing. Most companies owner, just like Dwayne said this evening, is really just out there to make, several millions of dollars, and then basically to leave the members high and dry. Not every member. I shouldn't say that. I don't mean to say that for every single business owner, because that is not the case for a lot of business owners. However, a lot of you right now are kind of distracted by other opportunities. We all get opportunities, even myself. We all get opportunities literally thrown at us on a daily basis. The key is just sticking with one thing and doing what it takes, and that's what we want to talk about tonight. Again, Dwayne talked a lot about this evening on his message, so if you didn't catch that at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, please go back and watch that to its fullest, because it truly does hit home with me, and I'm sure it'll hit home with you guys as well. So let me see if I can actually maneuver this thing here. And let's see. All right, let's see if we can go to the next slide. Okay, so are you willing to do, what it takes? And what we mean by what it takes, we're talking about building a successful business. We're talking about achieving the goals and dreams and desires that you guys all have as entrepreneurs. It's very important that you do identify, what it is that it's going to take you to achieve the level of success that you're looking for. There is no business out there that I know of, folks, and people are still looking for the golden pill, right? They're still looking for that golden egg out there where you can literally just jump into a company and you can invest money that you've worked very, very hard for, and then come to find out it's the same thing over and over and over again, where they promise you the world, they promise you don't have to do anything, and guess what happens? You sit there and you sit there and you sit there, and what happens is, that's what you were told to do, and you were portrayed something, you were told something that is not true, and that's really what, some of what Dwayne was talking about this evening, is that you shouldn't have to persuade people to join a business just to make a buck. It's all about honesty. It's all about, your integrity as a person when you're building a business, and again, doing what it takes to get there. So I want to cover a few of those things tonight. What are you willing to do? Are you willing to do what it takes? And a few of these key points are you willing to make a 12-month commitment and focus on that commitment? Are you willing to put all distractions aside for 12 months to say, I am here to build Ingresso Cybernetico, I'm here to plant my foot here and not go anywhere else, or not look at any other business opportunity unless it makes sense for me, because maybe you need a product. I'm an advocate of the industry. I love products. If I'm buying a product outside of network marketing, and I can get it inside of network marketing, and I'm not paying a lot more for it, and it offers me a referral base for my referral, then I absolutely go for a lot of that stuff. However, when I look at building, when I talk about doing that, I'm not talking about necessarily focusing on multiple streams of income, because like Dwayne talked about tonight, and again, this is kind of mirroring what Dwayne talked about tonight, is the fact that how can you talk about multiple streams of income if you're not really making income with those other companies? So the key is here, folks, is that where are you focusing 99% of your time? Because if you're not making money with 3 or 4 different companies, how can you truly focus on one company at a time to really kind of grow that business to where you are making money, so that you can focus on other things? And that seems to be a very, very, very big challenge for people in our industry right now. I've seen it happen over the last 3 or 4 years. It seems like people, again, are still looking for that company that you can go in there and you can watch an ad, you can post an ad, you can do all this other stuff, and you don't have to actually talk to somebody. That's not a company that you want to be a part of. It's not a legitimate business opportunity, nor is it a legitimate business plan, in my opinion, because if you're not going out there and creating sales or talking to people and they're creating sales, then no physical or actual business is being created, folks. And if you're being paid for that, then in my opinion, it's a pyramid scheme. Okay, and most people that you talk to, if you're promoting a business like that, they're right when they say it's not a legitimate business. And this is the key, folks. This is the underlying issue here. Before I go on to the next bullet point, is that most people are not comfortable talking to other people about their business opportunity outside of Ingresso Cybernetico. You know why? Because they know in their heart, they know in their mind that they're just there to make money. They're not there for any type of value whatsoever that's being created there. So those are the things you want to look for as you're building a business. And we've talked about this. You all know this on this call because we've been on numerous calls and training calls together. And I think you all know this because you made a decision to join Ingresso Cybernetico for many different reasons. The value here at IC is beyond, okay, it cannot be matched in our industry right now. There is no other company that provides the products and services that we have in one place for the price that we get it for. And if you're not confident in that statement, then I truly, please attend more webinars because truly it's just unmatched. I mean, our IC lead pages is $60, $70 a month by itself if you were to go out in there and buy it. Our webinar system now that we're on tonight, I mean, folks, these webinar systems cost, you know, if you wanted to go to webinar, you know, way, I mean, it's $499 a month. It's ridiculous. We get all of this here at Ingresso Cybernetico. So again, we've talked about this in the past. Don't always talk about the money. Talk about the value in the products, and the money is just a byproduct of that with Ingresso Cybernetico. And let's talk about writing down goals. You know, you guys have all heard me that have been on my training calls before. Writing down goals to achieve and tracking your accomplishments along that 12-month journey. Now, we're not telling you to stop at 12 months, but we're telling you that you really got to plant your flag somewhere. And like Dwayne talked about tonight, you're going to hear me say that over and over again because, again, this is really, it didn't happen, it wasn't on purpose, but it just happened that Dwayne's address tonight was really something I wanted to talk about as well, you know, with you guys as far as doing what it takes to be successful here at Ingresso Cybernetico. So writing down your goals, you know, I can't tell you how many times we've covered this on training calls. I still talk to some of you daily, or some of you on a weekly basis, and I still, quite honestly, most of you still have not written down goals. Now, I'm not talking to anybody individually, so I'm not pointing anybody out or saying that you didn't do it. But I want to challenge you this evening. If you don't have any goals, I mean, do you have goals? If you're in your office or wherever you're at, and wherever you work your business, are you within arm's reach of your goals? Do you have them written down? Where are you at when it comes to your goals and achieving whatever it is that you're set in place? Now, we talked about in the past doing a 90-day goal, right, when you initially start with Ingresso Cybernetico. We talk about that on the new member orientation a lot of times. So for all of you that have been on that call or even on some of our other training calls, we talk about that, writing down your goals and tracking your accomplishment. Are you willing to do what it takes? Are you willing to do that to be successful? Because that is going to be a very important step to your success with IC, or with any business for that matter. And then also talking to people on your chicken list. And I love that name, chicken list, because really what we're talking about, folks, is people that you normally wouldn't talk to, or that you're not comfortable necessarily talking to about a business opportunity. Okay. Let me just say this from experience. You know, I was told this many, many years ago. I thought it was fluff. Quite honestly, I didn't really pay much attention to it. But the most successful people you know are the ones that are going to get your business opportunity the fastest. What we all find ourselves doing over the years is we find ourselves talking to people that we feel need it most, right? And what happens is when we talk to those people, we're begging them to get in business. We're constantly having to follow up with them. We have to be persistent, consistent. We've got to continue to talk to them about our business opportunity to get them to join us. And what do they do after they join? Within a week's time, they're being told about something else that's greater, and guess where they've gone? To the next business opportunity. And how much did they make over there? Same amount of money they've made at Ingresso Cybernetico, because guess what? They didn't do anything to apply the business model that they have in place, or the opportunity that they have with the products and, of course, the compensation plan that we have here. They just didn't do anything. So we find ourselves wasting a lot of our time talking to people that we feel need it the most, that most of them they're not hungry enough. They're not entrepreneurs. They want to make money, they like the idea, but they don't want to necessarily put in the work. So that's why we say talk to people on your chicken list. Are you willing to do that? Because that's what it's going to take for you to be successful in our industry in general, okay? Whether it be with IC or any other business. So you got to make sure you're out there reaching out to people that you normally wouldn't talk to about a business opportunity. If you know somebody that's a successful entrepreneur or small business owner outside of our industry, and you know that they need a product like we have with Ingresso Cybernetico, whether it be the capture pages, whether it be the autoresponder, whether it be the chat and serve, whether it be the webinar system, whatever it may be, I would be putting them on the list, and I would be reaching out to them in some way, shape, or form. And I'm not talking about sending an email or a Facebook message. I'm talking about literally reaching out to them, picking up the phone, talking to them personally, maybe about their business. Doesn't have to be about Ingresso Cybernetico, about their business, and maybe ways that you can help them, because now you're an entrepreneur, now you're an online entrepreneur, you actually have a lot of experience in the internet marketing industry, and you'd like to provide some of those services to that individual, or maybe work with them to introduce them to products that can make their life easier as they're conducting business off the internet or maybe on the internet, regardless of the situation. But Those are easy ways to really start to talk to people, but you really want to open yourself up to talking to people that you normally wouldn't talk to, because that's where most of the success comes from, because it's the easiest. It's the hardest to initiate, but it's the easiest when it comes to those people building your business. And are you willing to go out there and work your business daily? Now, this is a big one, because I know personally we're all very, very busy. Some of us have little kids. Some of us have, we're married. Some of us have different obligations. We work 2 jobs, 3 jobs, whatever it may be. But this is what I want to challenge you with this evening, because I remember when I was working, 60 hours a week, and I'd come home, and I got a lot of slack from my wife for a long time, because when I came home after 60 hours, working hard every single day, 10 hours a day maybe in some cases, and I'll tell you, I'd come home and I'd sit on the computer because I have a dream, I had a vision. It was something that I was so hungry for that I wanted to achieve it, and I still to this day, have that same desire and that same hunger. So I just want to challenge you folks that if you're not willing to do what it takes to work your business daily, even if it's for 30 minutes to an hour a day, then I just don't know, right offhand if that's why we've got certain people that are kind of just, they're getting distracted with maybe the other shiny object, right? They're looking for something where they don't have to put in as much work. Everything that will create success for you in your life takes work. A marriage, a family, a job, doesn't make any difference. It all takes work. And if anybody tells you otherwise, run the other way, because truly, folks, it does take time, and you have to work your business daily. And I'm going to tell you a little story here. We were actually out to eat. My wife and I were out to eat. We had a date night actually, which was great, which we don't have very often because we have a little 3-year-old. But we had the opportunity to go out to dinner, and I'll tell you just a story here in just a few minutes. But it's really what inspired me to talk about this evening. And again, I didn't know Dwayne was going to talk what he talked about this evening, but it really goes hand in hand with that. So we'll talk about that here in just a minute. But becoming a servant to others. Now, this is really, I think, what Dwayne was driving home this evening. Not to talk for Dwayne, but I really think after listening to his message this evening, it's really it's all about being a servant to others, folks. Stop thinking about just the money. I think so much of us, and this is one of the reasons why I believe. Dwayne talked earlier this evening about the magic responder, having to go to a double opt-in, right? Because so many people are using magic responder or the autoresponder to pitch the business opportunity, the business opportunity, the business opportunity. And how many times, like Dwayne said, do we have our inbox filled up with junk that we don't ever read because it portrays that. It actually says make money or make millions or whatever it may be. And I just think so many people get caught up in talking about the money that they don't consider themselves to be a servant to other people, and that's where the true success comes in. I've heard testimonials from Alfredo Delgado. I mean, I've heard situations where he's actually talked to people on the phone personally. That's a big key right there. If you want to know why he has success the way he does, that's part of it. He makes contact with people. And there's many other people on this call that have had great success with Ingresso Cybernetico as well. So I'm just talking about Alfredo. I know Dwayne talked about him this evening as well, and he's just somebody though that really struck a chord with me when I first heard about Alfredo, because I had a lot of people come to me as part that were in the company, right, and said, you know what, I just love Alfredo because he was just so sincere. He actually told me right up front that this is what it's going to take. This is the hard work that you have to put in, and all of the other things that are required in a business opportunity. He didn't go out there and say you can make millions of dollars by doing nothing, or jump in the company and he'll build it for you. And that's why so many people are trying to find that special sauce, right, to build a business. That's it. Just be honest, speak from your heart, and be a servant to others. And that's really what it takes to be successful. So again, I hope you guys get a little bit of value from that. Not to be on a rant, I'm not ranting. I just, just like Dwayne, I think we're all very passionate to help other people see exactly what you have here in your hands. And a lot of you on the call, again, I'm not speaking directly at you, because I think a lot of you that are here tonight all understand that. You're here on these calls every single week. You guys all understand it. You guys get it. But there's a lot of people out there, for some reason or another, think that there's this pie in the sky that can be achieved without doing anything, and those are the people truly that we want to reach out to. We want to help them, be successful. We want to help them do whatever it takes, but you got to be willing to help yourself first. And that first commitment to doing whatever it takes really truly is that first bullet point on the screen here, is to make a 12-month commitment and stay focused. The most successful people in this industry are not people that work 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 businesses all at the same time. They focus on one business opportunity until they see success, and some of them, most of them, that I know of in our industry, just in industry in general, in their lifespan of being in the business, whether it be 25 years, 30 years, have only typically been in about 3 to 4 to 5 businesses in their lifetime. And a lot of it has to do with unforeseen circumstances, not because they choose to jump ship to another company. So again, if you're looking for success, follow the people that have had success before you. It's very important that you do that, because it's just a proven track record of success. So, what sets successful people apart from others? We've pretty much touched on some of this stuff, but I want to point out some of these different things here. Have you ever heard the saying before, though? This is really something that it sticks with me. I talk about it all the time. You guys can see it on the screen here. I'll do today what others won't, so tomorrow I can have what others don't, right? I'll do today what others won't, so tomorrow I can have what others don't. And I believe that was Jerry Rice. And folks, I want you to write that down. I want you to think about that. I want you to think about that daily, because truly, that's what we're all here to achieve. We're here to achieve what would normally take to achieve working a 9-to-5 job, making $10, $12, $13 an hour. What it would take you years to do in corporate America, you can do in our industry within a matter of months, literally. And we've seen it happen. We've seen it done. Again, talking about Alfredo, I mean, he's made over $200,000 here with Ingresso Cybernetico in less than a year. It's possible for each and every one of you and us. I mean, it's possible for everybody. So I just want to encourage you, obviously, to write that down. Think about that daily. We're here for a reason. We're here at Ingresso Cybernetico because we chose to. And we need to find the people that are here for the same reasons as us and work with those and stick with those people, because truly, folks, everything is built on networks, successful networks, teams, and circles of influence and so on. I think it's very, very important to understand that it's not built on the opportunity. It's built on teamwork. It's built on leadership. It's built on networking with other people that are like-minded like you. If those people that are currently in your networks, okay, are not like-minded like you, they're not hungry like you, then stop recruiting. Stop trying to help them because they're not willing to help themselves, and go out and find other people that have that same hunger as you, because you're going to find that your business will grow a lot faster with people that are pushing in the same direction as you, as opposed to pushing in the opposite direction. Okay. Now let's talk about a few different things. Successful people don't quit. That's one thing I've learned over the years. And when we talk about quitting, we're not talking about necessarily just applicable to a business, because again, in some instances, people have to quit a business. It's for unforeseen circumstances. So you can't judge a book by its cover when you look at people and they say, well, I've been with 5 different companies and 4 of those maybe be out of business. But I would look at maybe their judge of character at that point, but or their judge of business opportunity. But you can't judge everybody by that. But I do want to say, though, that almost 99% of the people I've ever met in our industry are people that have never quit, no matter what the circumstances are. If you guys heard Dwayne talk about tonight about his brother, and I think this is really, truly important. And again, if you didn't get that, go back and watch the video, because you missed it. And Dwayne talked about his brother, right? It took him years. I think he said 7 years, I think, is what he said. I may have heard it incorrectly, but 7 years to make his first $100 in the industry. And he was a garbage truck driver, right? And he continued to be persistent and consistent in what he was doing, right? And he continued to build and continued to build. And then he got into making $1,000 a month. Then he got into making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. Now then he got into making millions of dollars a year within the industry. It's because successful people do not quit at what they do. And I want to ask you tonight, if you're in corporate America, if you're working a job right now, okay, would you just quit because they're not willing to give you a raise? I mean, that's that's another thing that Dwayne was talking about tonight again, and I'm going back to talking about what Dwayne talked about because, again, this is really a mirrored reflection of what he was talking about. But people in corporate America, for some reason or another, will they'll work for a week's vacation a year when they tell you have to work and you don't have the time off that you want to. You only get paid $10, $11 an hour. But so many people are so dedicated to their employer, and that's not a bad thing, right? Jobs are not bad, but at the same time, if you have a vision for yourself and you have a goal, then why would you quit on trying to achieve your goal here, whether it be Ingresso Cybernetics or another business, when maybe it might take a few years, but then you look back over the last 10 years of your life, and how much of a raise have you got over the last 10 years of being in corporate America? I can remember when I moved to Florida for the first time, I thought I was going to get paid more money than I was in upstate New York working on a farm, right? I did, a little bit, but the cost of living was a lot higher in Florida. And I started out at $10, $11 an hour, and I busted my butt. And you know what? It took me 4 years to get a $2 raise. And I just knew when I met my father-in-law for the very first time, when I met my wife for the very first time, that I said, you know what, I don't want to live my life the way that my mom struggled raising 3 kids, by herself typically, or basically, right? And I wanted to do something different with my life when I had started to have kids myself. And of course, when my son came along is really where that transition came for me. I wanted something different. I don't want to be working all day long while my son is being taken care of by a complete stranger that I don't know of. And that for the first 2 years of my son being born, folks, he spent daycare 12 hours a day, and it just ate at me. So when I came home, I spent the rest of my evening on the computer chasing my dream, and I've continued to do that every single day that I possibly can, unless we're on vacation or something. And even when we're on vacation, a lot of times I do webinars and things like that for my teams and organizations and things like that. So again, it's talking about doing what it takes, and that could be different for everybody. Having a clear, defined why and a reason. You guys have heard me all talk about this in the past multiple times over. I really want to make sure that you have a defined reason. If the most successful people in our industry are successful because they didn't quit, then what was the reason why they didn't quit when they weren't making any money or somebody told them that they were crazy? What was the reason? The reason was that they had a defined reason why, whether it be, again, we've talked about this in the past, whether it be putting your kids through school, paying off your debts, taking your spouse out to on a vacation, putting your kids through a better school, whatever it may be. It could be the simplest thing, but you got to have that why to really help you through those peaks and valleys of your business as you're building it, because it can take years to be successful in our industry. Instant gratification is not expected. I think this is a big one. Dwayne was talking tonight about having a microwave mentality. I think is really what he said, but it really that's true. I shouldn't say our industry. Our industry, it does apply to our industry, but in general, I think at least I'm 34 years old. At least in my generation, right, and the generation that's coming up here. As well, right before me and even after me. We were all brought up with that instant gratification. We have that microwave mentality, which I think is a good word for it. We want to put it in there, shut the door, put it on 30 seconds, and we want our food now, or we want whatever it is that we're doing there, we want it now, right? Well, you can't have that as an entrepreneur, and the most successful people understand that. It takes time, it takes dedication, it takes years, it takes hard work. And that's really what Dwayne was talking about this evening as well, is really just staying focused, staying committed to your goals and your dreams so that you're not having that expectation that it's going to happen tomorrow for you. And then also, folks, they work very hard when others find excuses. I think Dwayne mentioned this as well this evening, but it really goes to talk about the fact that, most people that achieve success in our industry or in life in general are those that work hard for it. They may complain, but they don't complain to other people. They do not find excuses as for reasons why it can't be done when they've got a goal written down, a defined goal. And that's what we were talking about earlier when I asked you guys, do you have a goal in mind that you can literally reach for and point to, right? Because if you don't have the goals written down, then you don't have a stair-step way to become successful. You're just kind of blindly going out there trying to build a business, and that's not the way to do it. And then a lot of people, what they do is they define their goals, and they define what they want to achieve on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, and a yearly basis, but then they make excuses because they didn't have time to do it. And again, that's what sets people aside, apart from being successful or not successful in our industry in general, or as an entrepreneur in general. And I think that's truly important to make sure that you guys, you understand that part of it. Here's my challenge to each and every one of you. And you guys can either, and this is really not a challenge necessarily, but it's something to think about. I talked briefly about it here a few minutes ago. Think back over the last 5 years of your life. Okay, 5 years is a long time, right? And be honest with yourself. Are you in the same place financially as you were 5 years ago? People have asked me that question before, and quite honestly, it was a slap in the face for me, because in the situation that I was in at the time, I was in a worse financial situation than I was 5 years ago. And there are so many hopes and dreams that I had for the year, 5 years ago, the year that was coming up, then the year after that, then the year after that, the year after that. I mean, quite honestly, there's a time in which we all have to wake up, and we all have to decide whether or not we're going to take a direction of continuing to go in the same direction, or are we going to make a change for the better and do things differently than what we've been doing over the last 5 years. Because if you look back over your life over the last 5 years, if you're in the same financial situation you were, or worse, over the last 5 years, then you have to change something. You have to make a decision to change something today. If you do not, I can tell you right now, I can pretty much, I'm not what do they call that? I'm not a psychic. I can tell you that the next 5 years of your life are going to look very similar to the last 5 years of your life, if nothing changes. Right, and there's so many great things about Aggressive Cybernetica right now, folks. I mean, all the things that we have going on right now, Dwayne and the owners of the company have all kinds of great incentives right now. I don't know if you guys saw that Dwayne held up the Mac Mini tonight. I think Alfredo won. I think maybe a few other people had won. I mean, guys, I mean, this company has some just incredible incentives right now. They've got some incredible contests. We've got an incredible business, incredible compensation plan. We've got incredible everything with this company. I think we just need to kind of shift our mindset into really staying focused in what we're doing, as opposed to listening to other people as we continue to get hit with new opportunities each and every day. So, and have you really achieved? Now, we're not talking, when I say financially, folks, I'm not just talking about money necessarily. Because I did want to make sure that you understand it's really achieving the success you wish for yourself and your family as well. Again, we're not always talking about the money here. We're talking about the success you want. Have you achieved the success you want over the last 5 years? If you haven't, then something's got to change. And I will tell you, most people think it's the company that they're with. It's not the company. It's really, Dwayne talked about this again tonight. He held up the mirror and he said, you got to be honest with yourself. And at this point, and I'm telling you guys, that was the hardest thing for me to do. I know it's the hardest thing a lot of people that I've talked to that are on my groups have done, is to really sit back and say to yourself, you know what, you're right. I'm not doing what I should be doing, or what I've been told to do over the last few years, and that's the reason I'm not seeing the success I'm looking for. And there's two different people there, folks. There's people that just admit it to themselves and do nothing, or there's people that admit it to themselves and actually take action and do the things that's necessary, and that's what we're talking about when we say doing what it takes. So last thing I want to talk about is 40 regrets you don't want to have in 40 years, right? This really, guys, really kind of chokes me up a little bit, because life goes by so quick. It goes by really, really quick. And I think a lot of us don't want to have regrets over the next 40 years as we continue to live our lives. Some of us won't live another 40 years. We don't know. Some of you are at certain ages in your life where 40 years from now you're going to be gone, right? My whole thing is, when I look at being a father, right, and I look at being a role model for my son, what I look at is, I don't ever want there to be a regret on anything that I do in my life, and I want to cover just a few of those things tonight. I know we're cutting close to a little bit over 30 minutes, And then, of course, I'll open it up, Tom, if you want to say anything too. I know you're on the call. You can chime in as well here. I just want to talk about a few different things. But I found this very, very interesting. You know, this is actually on the internet. I can't take credit for this, but I was just reading some things tonight that really just kind of struck me, that or the last few days that really kind of struck me. And one is spending. A lot of these things, guys, you'll be able to apply to your life and maybe the way you're building your business and things like that are revolving maybe around your life. You know, spending too little time with the right people. We just talked about that. Spending more time with the people that don't want it, that are as hungry as you, and spending too little time with those that are out there that have the same desires and dreams as you. So that's one. Not making your loved ones smile more often. Now that's, you know, that has nothing to do with making more money, although your wife or your husband maybe smile if you're making more money and you have more time for them. Not saying what you need to say, right? And that can apply many different ways to your life, but that can apply to your business as well. You know, so many people sit back and they're like, man, I'd love to talk to him, but I'm just not sure I can do it. And they go throughout their business, and some people just quit in our industry, and then they never get that chance. And then they always ask themselves, what if I would have done that? Because then they find out that same person they wanted to talk to went into another business, somebody talked to them, and made millions of dollars. Right? So constantly comparing yourself to everyone else. That's a big one. You know, a lot of us in our industry want to compare ourselves to other people that have been successful. You're your own person. You guys may be successful. Each and every one of you on this call tonight may be more successful than the person that you would like to be, or that you're inspiring to be in our industry. I look at all of the most successful motivational speakers, right, that are in our industry or that have come and passed, right? Jim Rohn, you know, Tony Robbins. I mean, all of the different ones, that the common names that you guys can think of, right, or that you've heard of. Where do you think a lot of them got their inspiration from? Where do you think a lot of them got the idea and the motivation, the desire to make a change in what they were doing or talking about to other people within the industry, or just as an entrepreneur in general? Most of them feed off other people. They constantly are motivated to hear other people be successful. They want to make a difference in life, and they knew that their passion and their way of doing that was to publicly speak or to create stuff that would motivate people to be successful and achieve their dreams. And that's completely, a lot of people don't necessarily just think up of that stuff in the middle of the night. They look at other people that have come before them, and they continue to do that, but they strive to be greater. And you've seen that happen in that industry before, just in the public speaking industry or the motivational industry. You see so many people that have come over the last 5, 6 years that literally are people that you know of today, but there's people that have came before them years and years and years before that they just strive to be better to be better than, and a lot of them have done that. And not to say that they're any better necessarily, but the content is more relevant to what, in today's life and so on and so forth. So more people can apply to it. But ignoring your intuition for too long. This can cost you a lot of money as being an entrepreneur. So many people sit back and look at our business and they say, you know what, let me think about it. Or, you know what, I think I could probably do it, but I need to maybe think it over. That's always just an excuse, really. But so many people ignore their intuition for too long, and that's what holds them back to achieving whatever they want to achieve in their life, right? Let's see. Not taking action on meaningful goals. Folks, if the goal that you write down to achieve whatever it is that's in your dreams or that you want to achieve for your family or yourself is not meaningful enough to you, then you've got to change whatever it is, or your why for whatever you're doing this business for, whatever you're doing anything in your life for. Because and these are lists of things that people have said before they died. They did not take action on their meaningful goals. If you have a goal in mind, you need to, strive as hard as you can to achieve it, because this life is way too short. Letting others talk you out of your dreams. How big is that one? How applicable is that to our industry, right? How many times do people down everything that we want to do in our lives or that we want to achieve? And some people just quit. A lot of you, obviously, that are here for a reason, and you're here to plug in and stay active, and you're here to achieve your dreams. So I definitely want to say thank you for that, for being here. But let me just go through a few other ones here for the sake of time. Waiting and waiting and waiting until you're ready. That's a big one. That was a big one for me, because I'm somebody that's I got to learn everything about the industry. I've got to learn about this. I got to do that. I got to learn how to use the products, right? I've got to figure out how it works. I got to make sure it looks just right before I actually do anything. That was a big one for me, and that still today sometimes is things I struggle with, just because I just have a certain quality that within me that I want to deliver to people, that sometimes holds me back, and I know that can be applicable to a lot of you as well. So waiting and waiting until you're ready. That's something that somebody regretted, over the last 40 years. They after their life was getting ready to end. So it's just incredible to hear these things, because these are all applicable to us. Not putting in enough effort. That's another one. Letting solvable problems stop you. It's an interesting word. Not taking on enough risk. There's a big one. How much does it cost to get started in Ingresso Cybernetico? I mean, you guys all know the answer to that. It's mind-blowing when we look at traditional business and being an online entrepreneur, what the difference is in the risk really involved with our business. It's really, truly, and that's one reason why I think a lot of people, jumped into being an entrepreneur that maybe are not ready for it, because it is so cheap, right? But that's a big one. Settling for less than you are capable of. That's another one. Putting your own needs and happiness on the back burner. Now that sometimes can be, you always want to take care of yourself, because if your own self is in ruins, then how can you really help other people, right? I mean, that's really where that's applicable. But we are out to serve other people. I personally am out to serve other people. That's what network marketing is about: serving other people. Help enough people get what they want so that you can have enough of what you want, right? You guys have heard that over and over again. Let's see. Let me just go over a few other ones here. Giving up too soon. There you go. Letting someone walk all over you. That's another one. Not helping others when you were able to. Ignoring your roots and those who have supported you. Not appreciating what you have when you have it. Right? So anyway, that's pretty much it that I'm going to cover. Here's another one before we end that. Never admitting and growing beyond your mistakes. I'll end with that, folks. I want to end actually with the story I was going to tell you here, and then we'll open it up here if you guys have any feedback or any questions or anything like that, or anything you guys want to add tonight, since this is recorded. A lot of us have all been in opportunities. A lot of us have all been in this industry for many, many years, right? And some of us have achieved success. Some of us have not achieved success. And we're still striving to achieve that success. And one of the things I just want to encourage you this evening as well is when we're talking about doing what it takes. Another big one there is admitting your mistakes, right? Or doing what it takes is really a key to that is admitting your mistakes. That's actually rhymes, so I thought I said mistakes twice. And it's really just being willing to change the things that you've done over the years that you've been kind of programmed to do that's not working for you. And I know Ingresso Cybernetico is truly committed to providing the training, the resources, the products, the value, the compensation plan, everything that you need to be successful on the internet or offline or online today in our industry. I personally, folks, would not be looking anywhere else. Again, I'm not saying don't have multiple streams of income, but if when we're talking about multiple streams of income, we're talking about the ability to earn from multiple companies based on your efforts. If you're not earning from other companies and you're spending money with other companies, then I would hope that you're doing it because you love the product, not necessarily to earn an additional revenue or an additional stream of income, because you're not doing that with that company. So just keep in mind that there's no golden egg out there. You do have to work very hard, and quite honestly, I've seen many companies recently popping up in regards to internet marketing or tools and resources and trainings and similar to a compensation plan like our 2x2 matrices. And I'll tell you what, They're all garbage, guys. They're all junk. Things that have been thrown together that have no value to anybody in our industry, and they're only there to make money and exchange money within hands, and that's really what we're trying to strive to get away from in our industry and to help people get away from, because that is a black eye to our industry. Ingresso Cybernetico is an incredible business model which affords you the ability to make some incredible upfront money, and you all know that, and our products are literally second to none in my opinion, and our value is unmatched in our industry, so I wouldn't be looking anywhere else to go. So with that, the last thing I just want to share real quick, I know I'd love to talk here, but I do love y'all, and you know, is basically that, you know, we were eating out, I think I was on Saturday morning, yeah, Saturday morning, we were eating out at a Chinese restaurant. We actually went, it was actually in the afternoon, but we went out to eat in the afternoon, and we walked in, and I was sitting there, and there was nobody in the restaurant. And most Chinese restaurants, I'll say that most of them are run by the owners of the company, right? The owners are there working their business. Now, do you not know why they're, a lot of them are a lot of Chinese and Koreans and those are successful outside of, you know, some people that I know. At least I'm not being, I'm not trying to be specific to any particular nationality or anything like that. I'm just trying to say that, you know, I was in the financial industry for many, many years, and quite honestly, a lot of the people that I saw that were most successful were the people that really were out there working hard for it. And I've seen a lot of people that own Chinese restaurants that literally, or the gas stations for that matter, that they all work at their own place of business. They're there day in and day out. And the moral of that the story is that we walked in, there was nobody in there. And I said to my wife, I looked at my wife and I said, you know, it's a beautiful day out. Like, I'm sure that they have family members. I'm sure that they don't want to be working right now. And we're the only ones that came in. They probably made, you know, 10, 15 bucks that day. It probably cost them more than that for the lights or the gas to be on. And I just said, you know what, that's a great moral to what I wanted to talk about when it comes to being successful in running a business. Those people are there running their business, whether they have whether they make money today or tomorrow or the next day, and that's a great thing to think about as you're building your business. Those that are successful are going to do whatever it takes to be successful over a long period of time. If you're looking for instant gratification in this industry, you're not going to find it. If you want to attempt it, go play the lottery, which quite honestly, you guys know the chances of winning the lottery. So, you know, it truly is, it does take hard work, and I know a lot of you here are dedicated to that, and I do want to thank you as well for all of you that tune in each and every week. And Tom, if you'd like to say anything, I know we're getting close to 50 minutes or 55 minutes past, but please feel free to add anything that you'd like to as well to the training, and we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Folks, thank you so much. If you have any feedback as well, please let us know. We'd love to share that with other people as well, if it's okay with you guys.
Great training, my friend. Tip of the hat to you. Good job. So between what you gave out tonight and what Dwayne said, I mean, that's like a couple $1,000 personal development course right there, I think, in the last few hours. So exciting stuff, guys.
I love the picture, man. I just had to say that because I know other people are going to be thinking that too. So I know you and your wife look great there on the front there. I love the little hearts.
Oh, thanks, man. We took that yesterday. She came down when she got home from work.
Hey, happy marriage is a happy life for sure. So
I just put it up there to brighten my picture up because I thought she looked really good in it. So
she makes you look good. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, something like that.
All right. That's the same here. So all right, folks. Well, I don't see any other feedback here. I do really want to thank each and every one of you. You know, I will tell you guys, if you did miss Dwayne's call tonight, a lot of what I talked about again is really talking about what Dwayne had talked about as well, just to kind of drive that home. But and that wasn't intentional, actually. I didn't know Dwayne was going to talk all about everything that he talked about, and I'm glad that he did because it just goes to show you that there's more people out there that truly do care about you, and I don't know of anybody other than anybody with a bigger heart than Dwayne. I know his intentions, and quite honestly, this company is just a mere reflection of that. So. So with that, thank you so much, everybody, for your participation. Again, We do have a new member orientation tomorrow night at everything this week, folks. If you haven't figured that out yet, is at like 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So for you on the West Coast, I'm sure you're thanking everybody. For those that are on the East Coast, I know it's a little bit later than normal. But we wanted to try to make sure that everything went off, perfectly for you guys as we deliver the webinars, and you guys will see all the new enhancements that are obviously coming out with Cybernetico Live, a lot of the different things Ingresso Cybernetico is working on right now. I am truly excited from now until the rest of the year with everything that's going on for all of you that are serious about Ingresso Cybernetico, that are out there building your business, and I couldn't be more excited for each and every one of you and for ourselves, for that matter. So thank you all so much. Again, have a wonderful evening. Take care. God bless. Thank you so much.